Hello friends, good morning, good afternoon. In this session, we are going to see how to debug the stored procedure and nested stored procedure and how to use the while loop and without ID means there is a number means 1 2 up to the 50 but something means there is a suppose there is a one table and in that there is a no any number and we have to use the while loop then how to use that so we can see that and after that there is a one example means how to debug the stored procedure in exception handling. Okay, yeah, this was my previous video on stored procedure. So you will get complete information about the stored procedure means how to create it, how to modify it, means how to pass the parameter and yeah. Actually, one more thing means in that video I said yeah how to debug the stored procedure. So that is the link from that and yeah and one more thing is remaining means how to increase the stored procedure performance so I have to create the video on that but yeah whenever I will get the time I will create a video on this and yeah so we will start how to store debug the stored procedure. Okay, before of this actually there is a one table means objects modified, it is the physical table in the database, correct, and it contains the id, routine name, routine type, when it was created, when it was last altered, and date time flag means when we are inserting the entry into this table then what is the date time, correct, and means we are capturing the information from last 7 days, from 15 days or 1 month, correct, so that is nothing but the objects modified within the last 15 days. Our objective is that we have to identify such objects from the database means stored procedure or functions which are created before last 7 days or last 15 days or 30 days, correct, and so we will get the list of them and so for that I created the one stored procedure which is a short one means and with the help of that stored procedure we will get some knowledge about means how to track that and we can debug the stored procedure as well. Okay, first of all, there is a and which objects which are required for that. So objects modified is the table means as I said, yeah, here is the complete information about this, correct. So this is the definition for this means ID, routine name, routine type, created and last altered, then message str. Okay, this is the object I created it earlier and so I am dropping it previously and creating it fresh. Yeah, okay. And this is the schema, means information schema dot routines. So we will get all the list of stored procedure and functions inside the database. Swaraj INV is the database, and inside there are multiple stored procedures I created. And so what I have to do, I have to check means which stored procedures are greater than the last 7 days means let's say from in last week how much stored procedure are created or before 15 days how much stored procedures are created or functions are created, so I have to check that. Yeah, using means there is a where created is greater than. Okay, select get date minus 7, select get date minus 7, so it will return us the means last 7 days means that date, correct. So yeah, today is the 30, so it is the 23rd of September, correct, and I will get the list of means which stored procedures which are created within the last 7 days, correct. So same thing we apply for the last altered or we can apply the clause as a last altered means those are modified within the means greater than the last 7 days. Okay, and make the condition as a one. Okay, yeah, using this we will get easily, means whatever the information we are getting, so we are capturing that information and we can insert into the objects modified. Yeah, it's a very simple definition. But what I have to do, I have to iterate one by one, means so you will know how to iterate that while loop without using the id. And next thing, we can perform the operation row by row. Correct. And I will show you that object name, means routine name, routine type, created date, alter date in a variable, and that variable value when we are debugging the stored procedure, at that time we require that. Means sometime there are let's say thousands of lines of code in the stored procedure. Correct. And uh, you have to perform, means it failed at 500 or 700, so means we have to track some means large procedures or a nested stored procedure, so we have to debug that. Correct. So I created the one just sample for you, means how to debug that stored procedure. Means within a one statement we can do that, but I have to iterate that and I have to show you, yeah, how to debug that, means one by one. Correct. That's why I am going through the while loop. And the benefits of that while loop is that, means we are doing it object basis, means row by row basis, not on the basis of the id. Okay, so this is the stored procedure code. First of all, I am copying it into the new window. So what I did, first of all, I truncate the objects modified table. Correct. And inside it there is a temp table is created, means hash temp. Instead of this, you can create the table variable as well. Yeah, no problem. And next thing, in temp table, I'm inserting all the objects. Means let's say there are 384 objects inside the Swaraj INV database. So first of all, I am truncating it, and then I am creating the table as a temp table, hash temp, and then I am inserting 384 object, sorry, 384 rows into it. Okay. Then here I created the variable for each, means this value we have to save. Correct. So created date, last alter date, object name, and object time. Correct. So this is the variable declaration. And inside the while loop, yeah, we are creating, means we have to check till the zero records, means there are 384 records, so it will execute for 384 times, and whenever there is a no any record, so it will break and go outside. Okay. So then in while while loop and then exist, we are checking is record any exist or not. So if record is exist, then it will go. If not exist, then it will come outside. Okay. Then inside it there is a select top one, means we are taking the top one records. Yeah, here you are not means not see any id, we are just grabbing the top one record from the temp. Means we are assigning that top one records, means whatever the value to the variable. Correct. Means routine name, routine type, created, and last altered. And then what we are checking, if created date is sorry, created date is greater than last 7 days. Correct. Our last altered date, means we are checking, means what are the objects modified or created during last 7 days. So we will grab that list and we are inserting that things into the objects modified table. Means here there is a simple, means routine name, routine type, then created and last altered. Okay. And we are having that value of that four variables. And if that is not available within the last 7 days, means those are modified before 2 months or a last year or before 2 years, so we are not capturing that information. Correct. And once we are capturing that information, if not available, then just deleting that record. Means suppose in temp table there is a routine name, so we are deleting that, and then object type means procedure or a function, correct. And because in SQL Server when we are creating the object, at that time it will be a unique, correct, because it is not uh, allowing the same name. That's why, yeah, there is a miss from that object name. We are deleting the record from the temp table. Okay. Then once that while loop is execution is done, if you execute it, yeah, then yeah, first of all, yeah, dates I mentioned here means we are required these dates means 7 days or a 15 days or a 10 days. So we are passing in here means let's say I am passing in here a 7 days, and if you are going to execute, okay, then whatever the yeah rows affects state, so it will show at here, and then finally if you select it, I'm not calling this stored procedure right now. Yeah, if you execute it, then yeah, when we just called the stored procedure and date time is entry inserted because it is the default get date time. I yeah, get date time, and there is a routine name. There are the 28 rows are available, correct. And one more thing, this is the stored procedure nested call. Means here we are calling the stored procedure. So what is the nested stored procedure? First of all, we will see the definition of it. Yeah, this stored procedure is a very simple, means create procedure, procedure name, and dates, means let's say 7 days or 15 days or 10 days, means in last example we seen hard coded there is a 7 days mentioned, correct. So 7 days will be appear at here because we are passing the parameter from the stored procedure. And update objects modified, means objects modified is the table name. Set message str, means we are applying this for all the rows which are available in the objects modified table. So yeah, here this SQL calling, and we are means updating all the records, means 28 records available in the objects modified table. And here I am passing the 7 hard coded and execute it. So if you select it, then yeah, 7 days objects modified in the last 7 days. So this is the simple definition of the stored procedures. So I'm first of all I'm altering it, and there is a dates I mentioned, okay, and yeah, days is mentioned over here, and I'm going to alter it, okay, execute it. And if you execute it, exec stored procedure name and 15 days, and before of that, if we have to check select star from objects modified, how much records we are truncating that table inside the stored procedure, so it will be clean up. And yeah, there are 28 records, correct. And right now I am going to check 15 days, last 15 days records, means what are the objects modified during the last 15 days, and execute it. So here you will get 36, correct. And if you see it, so yeah, means object modified within the last 15 days. So this is the complete definition. And right now the second objective about the miss we seen, yeah, how to call the miss how to call the stored procedure inside the stored procedure, means this is the nested proc. And the next thing we seen while loop, means without the id, correct. And now right now we are going to check how that variables are miss their value is changing and how to track that activity. So we are going means how to debug the stored procedure. This is our objective, next objective. Okay. Previously, there was an option inside the store, means SSMS SQL Server Management Studio. There is a debug option, but right now that option is deprecated. right now this is the 19.0 or 19 onwards version, so it does not have that option. Instead of the SQL Server Management Studio, we have one two options, means SQL Server Data Tools SSDT or Visual Studio. With the help of that, we can debug the stored procedure. Okay, let's open the Visual Studio. So I opened Visual Studio. I am started from the scratch. Then new file, then SQL file. Okay, and here you can connect to here, means first of all this is the local server, means on this is the my current machine, and on that there is a server installed. But if you have a network server, then you can bring that machine name from here. And then there is a net, means Azure, means in Azure we have to provide the credential, then you can connect to the Azure SQL server, correct? So right now I am going to connect the local SQL server, and here there is a SQL Server authentication we have to provide. Both authentication is applicable, no problem. Then just select the database and then connect it. After that, we have to, yeah, debug this stored procedure, correct? And what things we have to do first of all, then execute with debugger. If I am going to execute it directly, then yeah, there is a result is showing at here, right? But what I have to do, I have to execute with debugger. And then right now I have to mention the only 10 days, and 10 days there is a, if we are calling this stored procedure, then child stored procedure also uh, we will pass the 10 days, correct? So first of all there is a debug option, and what they mentioned step over and step into, means there is a F10 and F11 we have to press, and you can apply the breakpoints as well if you have to check, or a certain means at some point you have to stop that activity or a debug, then you can apply the breakpoints, or you have to stop in between. And then I'm going to click on it, and then execute with debugger, and then press on F11, so you will go inside. Then first of all truncate table is executed, and go on a next statement, create table, yeah, it is done. Then there is a insert into data. Actually we can't see the temp table, means data inside it, but yeah, you executed the truncate table objects, correct? Objects modified. So if you going to select it, then you got nothing because it is truncated, right? And then next, first one row is come, then second. So such a one by one we are getting the row, and we are getting the their names as well. Retrieve supplier, means stored procedure name, then procedure, then created date, then alter date. So such like that one by one you are getting. And yeah, here there is a no any, yeah, here first time it is go here, retrieve medicine master ID, yeah, correct. And if you check at here, then yeah, there is a one row, retrieve medicine master ID, right? And here you can see there is a null value, right? And when we are setting that null value to the actual message string with the help of this stored procedure, right? And yes, we have to continue it. And right now what I am doing, I'm click on here, and apply the breakpoint in insert conditional breakpoint. Yeah, I'm not applying the condition, closing it. Okay, then press on a continue, and it will come till here, and then press 11, then you are going inside. Then after that there is how much days we are getting, 10 days, right? And those 10 days are passing here, and then your message str will apply for the all the records, means we are updating the table, right? And then yeah, we come outside, and there is a select star from objects modified. So yeah, means execution is completed. Then okay, right? So means there is a 384 rows are modified, then 30 rows it is in the result set. Let's say it is yes, means we can see all the 30 rows in the ssms as well as in Visual Studio, right? Means it is just debugging point of view I shown you, correct? Means we seen this stored procedure debugging, and next thing I have to show you one example about practice database. There is a exception handling, correct? So if you are going to execute it, exec dbo practice example, change the database first of all, practice new query, execute it, correct? Result is none and high, and there is a we are logging the exception. In which table we are logging the exception? Select stars from error log handle, go to here. Yeah, there is a, this is the last one. So I am truncating it, truncate table, okay, and then execute it from the debugging, means Visual Studio. Okay, first of all, new SQL query, then connect to the database, local, then my computer, then practice database. Okay, Windows authentication is also fine. Okay, then execute with debugger, go inside, then press if 11, then one by one, yeah, print high, then it give us the divided by zero error, and then yeah, control is passed from here to the begin catch. Why? Because whenever there is a error occurred inside the try block, then that control is passed from this, whenever that error occurred, that point to the catch block, and then in catch block we are logging that error, and then end the catch and finish the execution, correct? So if we are going to see the data of error log handle, then you can see there is a one row, correct? So that is the, yeah, point behind the explanation of the exception handling and explanation for this stored procedure. Means ideal scenario is we have to apply the exception handling in all the stored procedure to catch the error. And yeah, I shown you about the debugging stored procedure. Same thing you can do for function as well, means you can debug the function as well. And yeah, if you have any doubts about this, then let me know in the comment section. I will upload this code on my blog, learn SQL with sagar.blogspot.com, and there is a SQL Server topics, and underneath of stored procedure I will upload at here. So you will get complete information about the stored procedure, how to debug it, how to write it, and how to alter it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Bye bye.